Hello, Rajcom.
Hey, beautiful.
Ooh, what? Oh,
Fucking lady, by the way.
I
Not
know.
Raj.
I know. I figured,
Or he's handsome and all, but
but he's not beautiful. Is that what you're saying? Not
I'd rather
beautiful.
call him handsome.
I see. I see. I see.
Okay. Looks like it's working.
I see you, lady. Now. I see. Okay.
Okay, so that's good.
Good. Good.
Cool.
So, how you
Thank
been?
you, Hope. I am tired of working.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? I know I am.
Yeah.
My boss, she's like a big meanie.
You tell you need a raise.
Yeah. Hey, now. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. My boss is amazing.
I mean, she's something.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you want to get started then? Or should we?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't lie too much. I will never lie. I always tell the truth.
Might might embellish the truth, but
Embellish. Make it sound better than it is. It's all good. Oh, hold on.
to be fair, I could probably talk a little louder.
All right, it's probably him. Just kidding.
Very possible.
User volume. Okay, I turned him up a little bit. Hopefully he's loud enough. Hopefully.
Is that better, Smitty?
Ooh, is that better? It's better for me. Ouch. Yep. All right. All right. So here we go. You want to start? Are we good?
Yep, go for it.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to the Press Start to Chat, the podcast where streaming meets real life. I'm Francine, aka Mrs. Frantastique. And my co-host here is
My name's Anthony, or Lead Misfit Lead, however you know me,
whichever one.
depending which platform. Yeah, just because it's different on the certain platforms.
That's fair. So we're starting this podcast because streaming isn't just about games. Games are fun, but it's more about people, stories, and all the cozy, chaotic stuff. Anthony, who's Anthony? Well, you know. And a real let me start that part over. So if I need to cut it after, we can. So I got distracted by lady. All right. Welcome to our very first. Oh no, we started this podcast because streaming isn't just about games. It's about people, stories, and all the cozy, chaotic, and real moments in between. So grab a seat, press start, and let's chat.
Let's do it.
This is your part
Uh,
now.
yes, screen closed on the message. Hold on. Welcome to our very first episode. Today we're going back to where it all begins, which is just hitting that go live button for the first time. Uh, Talking about starting your streaming journey, the good, the awkward, everything we wish someone had told us. There's a lot that I wish people had told me,
Bro.
and wish somebody had kind of held my hand through it all and kind of give me a checklist to do, or at least a guideline, rubric, whatever you want to call it, depending on how you view things.
I'd even take that now if somebody wants to hold my
Yeah,
hand and walk me through this.
right.
Because let's be honest, we're both not experts. We've learned a lot, but we are still not
Well, and it
experts at this.
seems like it's changed a lot over the years too.
It has.
Just technology changes, the way people view streaming has changed, you know, which we'll cover that part later.
Of course, we're also going to go over streamer etiquette, the unspoken rules of the community that no one explains until you actually break them.
Yeah, we definitely learned a few of those the hard way.
Right? All right. So let's get into it. Why people start streaming. Most people start streaming for one of three reasons, at least. That's what I believe. Either for fun, for community, or for fame. Because we all see those famous streamers, those big streamers making a lot of money and doing a bunch of cool things, and we all want to be them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because gaming feels different when you hit that go live button. Community, because the idea of finding people feels magnetic. And fame, well, let's be real, a lot of us secretly dream about big numbers, sponsorships, maybe even making a living from it. I know I kind of do.
Yeah, and then I mean, honestly, though, I think it's a mix of those reasons. Even some people don't want to admit it at first. You know what it is that got them started. You know, a lot of people don't want to say that they're in it for the money. Um, but I think that's a big driving factor initially.
I think so. I know that, like, for sure. But for me, I'll be honest, it wasn't really about fame and money when I started. Even now, it's not really about that. I actually went live because I wanted to get out of my shell. I'm shy. I don't have much confidence a lot of the time. And I thought if I could talk to people online, maybe I can practice being more confident in real life as well, right? And let me translate that skill somewhere. Streaming became this weird but powerful kind of self therapy for me. It gave me a reason to show up, speak up, and connect with people. And that's what keeps me coming back to it every day.
That's what I love hearing that. Now, if you'd asked me when I started, would have been a whole different answer. But it's a very good, very real reason to start getting into something like this. You know, whether you're gaming, just chatting, IRL, whatever your streams are about. Um, Using it as a way to help you grow, not just on stream, but in real life as well, outside of this, from what people see. Uh, do you remember if there was a moment early on where you felt that shift, like, okay, this is actually doing what I'm hoping for?
Um, I think it's every time somebody comes into chat and starts talking, and sticks around. Like I've had some people come back stream after stream, and I think that's really been like my driving force. But I remember that first time when somebody came in, like my voice was shaky, I was nervous, like kind of like it is now because I'm really nervous today. Um, it's ridiculous. But by the end of that stream, like I realized that I can do this. I know that I can. And that little confidence boost has carried me to other parts of my life too. So it's been good.
Okay. Um, I do like the thing that your why doesn't just get you live. It helps define who you are. As far as what people see, but also it's starting to define you more off screen as well. If that makes any sense. Um, some people are chasing the fun, community, fame, money, but if your why is more personal, like yours might be, if you want to call it that, it helps keep you grounded. Especially when things get a little bit tougher. Because if you're just chasing the money and chance a little slow, or maybe you're having a hard time getting started, having a more personal reason to help definitely keep you grounded.
Exactly. Because the reality is, like, no matter what the reason is for actually starting, and staying with streaming comes down to mindset, right? Like a lot of it comes down to being consistent and having the courage to keep going, and keep showing up even when nobody else shows up. Because I think those
Mm.
are definitely hard. So, and keep in mind that the reason you might start streaming might not be the reason why you can keep going. There might be other factors as you keep going.
That's very true. I mean, like for me, I started streaming because I thought it was going to be an easy way to make money. I did a Google search, how to make money playing video games. Streaming came up. I tried to look into it. Thought I understood it, which I really didn't once I started. It kind of hit me in the face like a ton of bricks real quick. And once I understood what streaming really was, what it entailed, basically everything we're about to talk about, um, my views on it changed quite a bit. Yes, I still would love to make money from it. I'm not concerned how much money I'm making, but it's nice. I'm not about to lie. Now it's more about the interactions, the community, how it's helped shape me and my life, both again on screen, on stream, but also off stream as well. Uh, kind of like you, it's helped me be a bit more confident when I'm talking to people, or at least build more. I gotten better at building a connection, have being able to have conversations and include myself in situations that I wouldn't have always been so quick to do.
That's really interesting because it really shows how we both started for different reasons.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, like mine was about confidence, yours about like fame and money. But how both those reasons gave us a push to go live. It's changed over time, and both of us
Mm.
are kind of very into community and building that space that people can come to and chat and engage with and just have fun. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. I mean, there's not really more I can add to that because I think everybody starts the same way. They start here, and it turns in. You can't even say they go up. They don't go sideways. They kind of evolve from there. Or actually, most people do. Some people stuck in their ways. Um, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, a lot of people say they're having fun. Some people want to treat it like a business, and you can really tell, and it works for them. And that's the important thing. If it's working, and you found the secret sauce for yourself, at the end of the day, what we're doing here today is more to help kind of guide somebody who maybe needs a little push in the right direction, or maybe somebody wants to get started and maybe just needs kind of a little guide to getting started.
Getting that confidence to hit that go live button for the first time.
Mm.
And I love that because it really shows that everyone's story is different. So for anyone who's starting out, just know that your why doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. So whether you start for fun, community, or a secret shot at fame, um, you go in thinking it's going to be easy. Spoiler alert, it's not. So let's talk about the difference between what you expect streaming to be and what it's actually like a little bit.
All right, guys, so buckle up because this is where Fran and I are going to pop at least one person's bubble, maybe. Um, because the truth is, streaming is slower than just loading up a screen. It's a lot of things, but the biggest word is growth. Growth takes time, and expectations versus reality. Expectation I can go live. This was me to the T. I'll go live and instantly have hundreds of people, money flowing in, and then I can pay my bills and I can just sit back and play video games all day. In reality, and I sat there. I saw the numbers changing. People were kind of popping up, but nobody said a word. And I think everybody in my house was sneezing, and that's all you could really hear besides the game.
I know that feeling all too well. All too well. Um, Also, one thing that we want to touch on is that one viral clip. So everybody tells you like you have to post on other platforms to be recognized and seen and things like that. But keep in mind that one viral clip doesn't mean you're gonna suddenly have like 500 viewers in your stream. It takes time. It takes consistency. It won't be overnight, right? It'll still, so it takes a lot more than just luck to get there as well. And you have to make sure your content is good when you're posting clips and not just random things that it has to show your personality and show why people want to go into your stream. Something I have to learn and work on for sure.
And that would be both of us. I think one thing touching on expectation versus reality. A lot of people start out wanting to be streamers, and sure, a streamer might get lucky and have that personality that just keeps drawing people back. But the reality is, if you want to grow your community, make money, and see that growth really take, like you said, content is understanding that there's a difference between being a streamer and a content creator, and understanding the work that goes into differentiating yourself between being those two. You can be a streamer but not a content creator, and you can be a content creator and not necessarily be a streamer, or you could be both, but you have to understand what all goes into that, what the reality is, the work, like you said, the work involved in it, making offline content, you know, figuring out what your content is, who you are as a content creator slash streamer. Because if you just going live, you can't just hit the go live button and just say, oh, my personality is going to carry me all the way. It's not that simple. Um, because if you got the personality of a flopping fish, you're not gonna get very far. Um, it's all about editing. Like I said, editing, posting, networking, and pretty much trying to figure out how to make your life work, or while also making 47 TikToks and trying to maintain a personal life at the same time.
It's a lot of work in the background. Like if you think that you're just signing up to play games, no, you're pretty much signing up for a part-time job without benefits at first because if you don't have the subs or donations or bits or whatever form of currency that any platform has, depending on what platform you're on, I mean, there's you're just working. You're not doing much else, right? Like, and you might have a full-time job, a family, other like extracurricular activities that you like. Like I like going camping on the weekends and things like that. So making time for everything and those editing, like you were talking about, um, it's a lot of work out of this, and sometimes with a little reward.
Yeah, that's for sure. Um, and also being real, everybody's had a moment, especially starting out. Just in the first, say, 6 months, where you have like, well, damn, I thought this was going to be easier. I thought I was going to be somewhere or be further along, and 6 months in, you're still looking at no chat, one chatter, maybe just your wife, your husband, somebody just trying to help keep your spirits up. Um, and nothing against that, but the reality again versus the expectation, and understanding that you aren't gonna be Ninja, Tim the Tatman, Nick Merckx, all them overnight. It's like we keep saying, there's work involved, understanding what goes into it. Um, when I first thought I was gonna have somebody just show up and that was gonna be it, and that really wasn't the case.
That's very true. I have that same feeling, and like some days are better than others. Some days people will come in and chat, and then the next stream, no one. So you really have
Mm-hmm.
to like have that resilience to keep coming back and learn to really talk to yourself because that's a big one. Um, and if you're gonna go back like and review your vods, because that's an important part too, you should go back and see where your vods are going, if your stream is good, and why people might be leaving and things like that. Um, and not to hate your vods because that's a challenge sometimes. Hearing my voice is impossible,
Right.
and you can't forget that like you think your family and friends are gonna like support you. That expectation is not all your friends will come watch your stream. Like they have different interests, they have lives of their own, and it's just not gonna happen all the time. They might stop in for 5 minutes, but then they're on their way, and that's okay, right? Like you can't expect people to just stop everything they're doing to be here.
You can expect it. Doesn't mean it's gonna actually happen.
Well, that's true. It's very true. The reality of like, that expectation is that it probably won't happen.
I don't know how many times I see Fran pop in and I'm sitting there like, all right, cool, Fran's here, and then 5 minutes later, okay.
Friend
I think
tunes
I
out.
think I think the I think the line is almost always the same. This old lady, past this old lady's bedtime.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty much how it goes every time. Almost the exact same time too.
If it's after 10, the chances of me being awake, well, I'm usually awake, but I get off my phone and stuff at like 10:30, and
I think
so
you came into I think you came into a stream one time and I was like, man, what are you doing up? It's 10:30.
yeah, yep. Sometimes.
So, but I mean, and another thing is that people have to understand is how well, okay, this is one of those things where I think streaming has changed, or the world, or perception on streaming has changed. Because I know when I started, if I told my family, or when I told my dad, for example, like, lady just looked at me like, okay, you want to do that, whatever. She just thought I was just wanted to play video games. told my dad about it, and he goes, you're trying to make money playing video games. Like, that's stupid. Go, go work a real job. No, Dad, I am working a real job. I'm doing this on the side. And yeah, so he was just looked at me like I was speaking a foreign language to him. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I haven't told my mom because she would just judge me. So, uh, don't bother. She'll be like, "Oh, why would you do something like that? That's dangerous." Yes, yes. The internet is a very scary place.
Mm-hmm.
But like, and they don't see what we go through, right? They don't see the grind. They don't see they only see the highlight reel, right? And even us, when we see a bigger streamers, right? We see the Tim the Tatmans and Ninjas and all of them, Nick Mercs and stuff. We see like the good side of what they're doing, right? We see the dollar signs. We see that they have like this chat that won't stop scrolling and that they can't even keep up with. And but we don't
Or their
see.
own.
Go ahead.
They got their own they got their own whips, their own Andres. You know, the guys that do a lot of the background work for them.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know.
their mods and stuff. They have like a team behind them that they hire to edit clips and do this and that. And they
Mm-hmm.
don't. We don't see that, right? We just see that highlight reel and oh my god, it's so great. So,
Yep.
but what actually needs to keep us going is the love of the grind itself, right? The awkward silences that that we see on in streams, the one person streams, the night where chat is just like talking to yourself. I talk to myself a lot sometimes. Um, feel like a lunatic. But that's part of the process, right? And it helps us grow and it helps us make our stream more entertaining because the more we talk to ourselves, if somebody comes in, they might have something to say about the topic that you're talking about. So it's good to practice.
And that's true, and that's something even to this day I still struggle with that. I go back, I watch my vods, or I can feel it. I know I need to talk more, and it's just like, nah. Or how do I talk more and make me walking from point A to point B more interesting? That's why having somebody there that you can count on to be, like I have Lady. She's sometimes there. Using her to just kind of keep it going. Zara. I got people that come in and will talk, and that's where people might say, okay, it sucks only having a 5-second chatter, but or maybe somebody's lurking and can only chat a little bit here and there. If you don't think about that, that could be a good thing because they could say something that keeps you going when you least expect it or when you really need it. And you have to be able to keep streaming during those slow times. You mentioned sometimes talking to yourself. The slow times. I think we've all had some pretty high points, but we've also had some pretty low points, and it can be very frustrating to go from, maybe you're averaging 5, 10, and maybe at one point you were peaking at 40, 50, and it gets frustrating not seeing those same numbers consistently.
That's very true. So that expectation of instant gratification and instant growth and success and overnight fame just goes out the window when those happen. When that happens, and the reality is it's slow growth, right? Long nights, showing up when no one's there. And if you can embrace that, then you're already ahead of most people because a lot of people give up. I think there are times where I've wanted to give up, but I just wanted to accept that reality and move forward. So
Mm-hmm.
it was good. So um, I think the next question that we have is what do you need to get started? Because a lot of people might think that it's all about having the perfect setup, but trust me, that's not needed. I might have a good setup, but it doesn't make a difference. The cameras and things that I have, it has no bearing on what the stream is.
Mm-hmm. And you're absolutely right on that. Um, 4 monitors, top of the line PC. That's not going to bring people don't see that. You see that, and so that might help you feel a little bit better. But Fran, you don't know what my desk looks like. Does that really have any impact on what you're doing in my stream? Or you know,
Sure
I
doesn't.
think you got what 6 cameras spread out around. I think at one point, and I wouldn't have known if you hadn't shown them off every now and then.
Yeah, I'm down to one.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
down
well,
to one. It was messing with my computer, so I was like, nope. No. So all the fancy gear in the world, it causes more problems. So like I'm down to one PC, I'm down to one camera. Like I've simplified things because it's not worth it. So and that's why I'm like I have one big monitor, but like things are simplified, getting simplified because it's too much, and people don't see it. Like you just said, it doesn't matter. Gear
I
doesn't
would
matter.
correct one thing on that. It's not that it doesn't matter or it's not necessary. I think if you're going to have that stuff, you have to make sure that your content is tailored to the equipment. Because if you have six cameras, but all you're doing is sitting there, like nobody wants cares to see the back of your head,
Hmm.
or they don't want to see, you know, whatever might be on there. But now if you're doing something in IRL, maybe you're doing a workout or showing off your dog. You might need a little bit more room, so that can be justified. But again, you need to make sure the content warrants the equipment.
That's very true. Very, very true. Because what matters most is the interaction with chat, right? Like, no equipment is going to bring that in. You have to be
Right.
the center of attention. If you can't entertain yourself in your stream, how are you going to entertain other people?
Yep.
And sometimes I feel that way. Like, I'm playing Fortnite and I'm like, I'm getting tired. It's not entertaining anymore. What am I going to do? So,
And I've canceled a few nights, more than a few nights, because I was tired. I was like, okay, if I'm too tired, like I'm just gonna bring that energy, and why would anybody want to watch somebody who's half asleep or half dead to the world play some video games? It's not gonna be even remotely interesting.
that's very true. What was your first setup like? Do you remember?
Oh God, yeah, I still remember that. I started with a laptop
Mm.
and playing Call of Duty on with an Elgato, going to a laptop and my Xbox, and that was horrible. Did not understand how to do the settings so that way the capture card actually picked up a good gameplay through OBS. And yeah, so there's a lot of learning right off the bat. Then I went from a laptop to a laptop and a very cheap, crappy PC. And it was one of those all in ones where the screen was there, you had a keyboard and the screen, and like the hard drive and everything was built into the monitor. Slowly started upgrading, and then eventually got a full blown PC and monitor setup.
See, and nobody would have known. They just saw you playing video games and talking.
Well, with how bad the quality was initially, yeah, it was kind of obvious that my stuff needed some work. So,
We all start somewhere though. So, I mean,
yeah.
things happen. I have this set up and sometimes my camera freezes and I can't fix it. And I was like, what? What's happening? And that's like, no. The sound doesn't come out properly. Nope. Doesn't matter what the gear is. Quality can still be bad.
Hmm.
It all depends. Mine wasn't much better. Like, I had a gaming PC because we were always gamers and PC gamers. So I still had it. But I didn't have a mic at the first time. I had like a headset mic. Webcam wasn't very good, and like it just wasn't good. And then when I said, "Okay, I like doing this," so we brought another mic and then bought a webcam. That made us look a little bit better, but still wasn't great. But it's evolved over the years. It wasn't overnight, but it's evolved because I like technology. So I do this for me, not necessarily for everybody else, but for me because I like it.
And that's good. I mean, at the end of the day, while we're here to entertain people, if you're not happy or you're lacking enthusiasm, it's kind of be kind of hard to get other people to be enthused or interested in what you're doing.
Hmm. And keeping things
Uh,
simple is very good, right? Like you're not fiddling around with a bunch of different things.
yeah,
I'm always fiddling with things. It makes it so complicated. Like multi-streaming now, well, it's a little bit easier with Meld because it's one button and it goes to everywhere once it's set up.
yep,
But then I have like when I had the two PC setups, the sound, like all the wires that had to go back and forth and just like didn't work all the time. The streamer bot like that sometimes messes up. Like the more fancy you get, the more problems you can actually have. So starting off simple is like great. No fancy overlays, no nothing. You just hit that go live button and focus on actually learning to stream and learning to entertain and learning to talk to yourself and learning to engage with the chat when somebody does come in. Did you see that video with Ludwig not that long ago that he posted like earlier this week where he went live to 0 people? He didn't tell anybody. Like
Yeah,
that
he
must have been a shock for
created a
him.
whole new account to see it to understand like starting over basically or starting from scratch.
Yeah. Took him 5 hours before somebody came in, and it was somebody he knew. So that kind of defeated the purpose. But it was good to see that though, that even him, right? If he just goes live and doesn't tell anybody and has a brand new channel at 0 viewers, right? And he was having a hard time when I watched that video. It was a good one. I liked it.
Yeah, it definitely validated some frustrations. Being able to see that it's not just me, it's not just you. It's can be anybody who has those same struggles.
It's very true. It's very true.
Um, I think the hardest thing for people to wrap their minds around is just getting started. Like you said, you touched on interaction, we touched on equipment. It's just people get kind of the tunnel vision on one thing, like that one thing that they need to get going, and without that real understanding of everything that goes into it, you know, interaction with people, not just on stream but off stream, having at the very least a good mic. I think at the end of the day, I think having at least a doesn't have to be top of the line, but a quality microphone is probably a key thing because if people can't hear you or having a hard time understanding you, that can kind of derail everything. Um, your PC, whether or well, you should say you're streaming because I know plenty of people who still stream from their Xbox and seem to do halfway decently, or a
Mhm.
laptop. What is it? A light stream there for people who are needing a maybe not the OBS or the meld
Mhm.
options. So it understanding the reality is it encompasses everything
Mhm.
and getting and I think the biggest thing though between the mic, having the mic, and being ready to interact and just talk because you got to talk. You can't just sit there and stare at your monitor and hope that people are mind readers.
That's right. That's right. And people aren't. So, and let's be real, a lot of people, they might come in for the gameplay because a lot of people look for games, right? When searching, you're browsing, they go to a certain game, they see a game that they like, they go check you out. But if you're not talking and you're not like interacting with them, if they say hi and you don't reply because you're just focused on the game, that goes a long way too, right? They're not going to stick around. They're going to go. They're not going to hit that follow button because why would they? They have no reason to. They can watch anybody else play the same game, so they'll just leave.
That's true. And that goes back to we talked about personality. Talking interaction can't be a lump of potatoes. Just sitting there staring at your screen. Anybody can do that, but what's going to keep them there?
That's right. I catch myself staring at the game, getting too involved in the game. So that's why I kind of play Fortnite and stuff because I don't. If I die, I die. It doesn't matter. Um, it really doesn't. At the end of the day, it's just a game. So um, it doesn't matter. I've had people who don't watch wrestling or like wrestling, but it's my commentary that keeps them in. They may not even watch attentively, but they can hear me and they can hear the energy and passion. That's what keeps them. You exactly watch TV. That's exactly what we're talking about, right? Like people will come for the game, but once you have them in and you switch games, because switching games can be deadly to people as well. And experience that a whole lot. But they come for you because they like your interaction, your energy, your passion, and things like that. So I like that. I like that a lot. Do you remember your first stream? Do you remember when you first went live?
Not really.
No.
It was so dead, like I didn't understand any. Like I'm just sitting there playing. Lady was in chat, just talking to me, like just kind of giving her a little, oh, GG's. Well, you missed all your shots. You suck. Like just try to do anything to get me to show some emotion.
Mm-hmm. And they're probably like just staring at the screen. They keep checking chat to see if anybody's there. Like, am I
Mm-hmm.
gonna get somebody to talk to me?
Pretty
Eh,
much.
please, please, just somebody, please talk to me so I don't look like a potato watching, playing a game and doing nothing.
Pretty much.
Yep. Yeah.
Ex-
I think everybody's gone through that. I don't remember my first exact stream, but I streamed with Rajcom when we first started, so we kind of had that. But if you've ever watched his stream, he doesn't talk a whole lot. He gets involved with his game, involved, and so it was like me trying to interact with him, but not, and then him not ignoring me, but almost ignoring me because that's what he likes to do. So it didn't go so well that first one, but it got better. It gets better. So,
it never
um,
does. Just however long it takes to get better. It's really up to each individual person.
that's very true. That's very true. Um, but I think I would have liked somebody to tell me at the beginning that not everything's going to be perfect, and it's supposed to be kind of awkward at first, and you just have to get through it, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Exactly.
And touching on that though, it's hard when somebody says, "Oh, it'll get better," just do this and just do that, and then you can spend another 6 months, a year doing that, and the growth is still going to be so slow. You're going to be like, "I thought you said it gets better."
Right? That's what I felt like for the last like 5 years. When does it get
Yeah.
better? When does it get better? And I know that I could be doing a lot more to put myself out there. However, I haven't. So, you know, it just, that's what happens when you're busy and you're working full time. You have a family, and you want to spend time at camp, or you want to spend time doing something else, or going out with friends and things like that, right? You have to prioritize, and it's all about trying to get better.
Mhm.
Um, so if you're listening right now, I want everybody to think, what was your first stream disaster? Because trust me, we've all had one. It's probably funnier than you think. At least looking back now, it's probably funny. I know I have many, and they still happen. Like no sound, camera freezes, anything like that. Right? They're all interesting. Alerts don't go off. It's a terrible thing. I disabled my alerts today though, so nobody could scare me. Just saying.
Um, God, I think my first like real disaster, like
Mm.
I had little hiccups, like mic cutting out, camera, internet, having hiccups and everything. But the worst real disaster, why I do at least remember the time frame. It was February of my first year. Um, we were having a problem with the internet. Like you could see it on like the frequency, like or whatever they call it, but it would spike up and down and up and down, and like it would be jittering all over the place. And I spent like a month trying to argue with the cable technicians. I got a lady trying to calm me down because I'm walking around just having a tantrum constantly, and she's getting mad. She's like, I don't understand the problem. The internet seems to work just fine. It's like, but it's not working. I'm showing you it's not working, but I can still play my games. Okay, you go play your games. I'm gonna figure out the internet. Like I spent like a month chasing it down. We went through different modem routers. Technicians came out rerunning wires and everything, and finally got it up and working. But it took a little over a month to finally get that resolved.
That has to be like the most frustrating thing, right? When everything else is working, but you don't have internet and you have to rely on somebody else to fix it. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I like Smitty's here. First stream on her on Drew's account. She got follow botted. That was uh that was a disaster.
Yeah,
That
that's
makes
because
you nervous.
she was
Mhm.
trying to take the shortcut and buy her viewers that way,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
followers.
probably. I have never done that. Have you like ever like thought about like view botting at all? Because I have not.
No, not even a little. First off, I'm too lazy to put in that much work for it. And I'm also too cheap. I'm not paying for followers. I'm not going to pay somebody to follow me, whether they're real or not.
Right? I find it
Like,
silly. And some of them will actually talk and ask like silly questions. So you know it's not a real person because it's like,
yeah,
hey, why is the sky is blue? I'm like, what? Okay, so we're view botting and getting some silly people to ask questions. Like, no, no, thank you.
I I've had some that turned out to be. Well, I don't know if they're necessarily bots, but graphics artists that come in and act like they want to be a viewer, and then they'll ask you a few questions that make you kind of like, are they real? Are they not real? And then they're like, then what's the, I'm trying to think. It's almost always just saying, oh, follow me on Discord, or your overlays need some work, or I can get you some emotes, something that turns into them promoting their business. And as soon as you say you're not interested, they're gone.
That's very true. I get a whole bunch of those bot accounts that like, hey, your chat's so dead. Like, well, how to revive it? Like, go to here. No, thank you. That gets you the ban hammer right away for me. I don't want it.
Yeah, thank God for Wisebot, because Wisebot on Twitch does that for me right away.
Yeah, mine too. Just get rid of it. And then, but
Yep.
other places like Kick or whatever, I don't have it, so they still show up, and I'm like, no, thank you. Or hey, message me on Discord. I can help you get to your 75 average viewers. Mm-hmm.
And their
Sure, you
and their
can.
name for Discord is never the same as what they're messaging you.
Nope, never. No, that's very true. What are some of the other disasters that we've seen? Rajcom, his disaster streaming when tired and falling asleep on stream. I remember that. He nodded off. Mm-hmm. That was a good one. Launch TV. I had a biggest disaster I had was when I was doing premium live event, which is essentially a pay-per-view type of event for my wrestling show. Recorded all 7 matches perfectly, no game audio, which meant I had to do the matches over again after I had no voice from doing play-by-play commentary. Oh, that would be frustrating. No, thank you. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Smitty almost never streamed again. Yeah. I don't blame you. I've never had like a hate raid or anything like that. Knock on wood. I don't want one, so please don't come after me. Um, I don't want to experience it. But have you?
I never had one. Lady got one. I think her second or third month she got hate rated. Um,
Mm. Perfect, Gorm.
and,
Thanks.
and I think it was like 100+ people, and she just talked shit right back to them. They got tired. They got bored real quick, and just she didn't even have to really ban anybody. They just kind of left on their own because they got tired of her talking back to them.
That makes it interesting. Makes for a good stream. I would have
Yeah.
like clipped that and like posted that on YouTube. Might have gone viral. You never know.
Yeah.
Here's how to handle a hate raid. Just talk back. Be mean to them. They leave eventually. They don't like you. Fake graphic artists on Twitter all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
They try to
Some
trick
of them
you.
I some of them I block just if they start messaging me.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that I get plenty that will just follow and never say a word, so I just leave them there.
Yep. I block them too. There's no point. So I think that's a good way to segment into our next topic, the stream etiquette one. Hey Seahawks, how's it going? Stream
Hey,
etiquette.
I think it's a really good one because I think a lot of people will take certain things for granted. Some people don't think about certain etiquettes, and then because they have no filter from their brain to their mouth.
Can you
Or
not hear him, Gorm? Is he talking too low? All right.
um,
Sorry.
so yeah, stream etiquette is definitely an important one.
It is. And it's basically just kindergarten rules like don't interrupt, don't steal, don't be a dick. And just like, and yet here we are, right? Having to talk about stream etiquette. Like, why? People just need to be nice and like, hey, Gorm, you're funny. You never even go live anymore. Like once every 6 months. Come on now.
But I
Gorm's a
mean,
good guy.
he's got a point though. Is the people who
Mm-hmm.
maybe they don't necessarily come right out and say, "Hey, I'm going live. Come check out my stream," but doing things that are meant to draw attention to have you pull up their channel. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Subtly self-promoting that they're live.
Yep.
You know, respect the streamer space. Yeah, I mean, it's basically respecting the fact that the streamer that you're coming into doing the stuff, they're the ones that are live. You're taking the attention away from what they're trying to do, their interactions, their the work that they're putting into it, and asking yourself, if this was me, would I want them doing this to me? Because
Right.
90% of the people who are doing this are probably banning you on the spot if you came in and pulled the same stunt in their stream.
That's very true. Very true. I've done it. Like if people are coming in and rating me, and then they're instantly saying, "Hey, like talking about my stream was so awesome," and things like that, without me asking, like I'm okay with asking them, right? Like I will ask how their stream was because we all know if they rated you, they were streaming too, right? So there's no harm
Yep.
in like asking how their stream was. But if they like openly come after me and like start talking about it, well, the band hammer's coming out, and I won't. I You can go because I don't
Hmm.
need it. So um, but it's common. Everybody like does it, right? Like,
I wouldn't say everybody
well,
does it,
not
but
everybody,
it
but
just
a lot
seems
of
to
people do
be
it.
a little more common than it should be.
That's true. That's true. It's like showing up to a party, right? Like, I love the band hammer. You sure do. You use it a lot. Smitty's a good mod. She comes in, takes care of all of that. She loves it. Uh,
Times out people without warrant.
Prove it, Gorm. Don't tempt her. She will time you out. Just call me Whips. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Well, Smitty, that she wants to be called Whip. She's got to understand the work that goes into it after.
Right.
Helping make clips, and so the thing where
It
people get
does.
banned in my kick, the sound plays a note. You got an alert for when people play this, or sound alert for when people get banned. I've
Mm-hmm.
heard of saying people do that. Um, no, but I wish there were certain things that I had known about when I started. There's I was. It's like you said, going in after a raid and immediately talking about your stream. It's something I've done. Somebody finally had to message me like, "Hey, can you please not do that unless I ask you?"
Mm-hmm.
And I never really understood it. They actually sat down and had a conversation with me about it, and because I explained to them, I said, "My bad. I've only been doing this a short time. I didn't know that was a no-no." So they actually took the time to educate me, and I'm definitely very grateful for that because I was embarrassed and I apologized profusely, and that definitely was a learning experience for me.
The rules are in the panels there, Gore. I don't have a command for that. That's a good one that I should have though. Definitely should have that one. Yeah, for sure. Like at least the person like took the time to talk to you and explain it to you. So that was really good of them. A lot of people won't take that time, right? Like they'll just ban and then it's over.
Hmm.
I like the fact that they actually went and talked to you afterwards and explained it.
I was a little more appreciative because I see it now a lot too. And I think while this is like a viewer, like we're talking about viewer etiquette, a streamer etiquette, I don't know if this would really be etiquette, but maybe something that people should take into consideration is don't be so quick to blast a viewer live. Like your stream, do what you want. If you want to handle a certain thing like that, but try to see if they can message somebody privately if they're doing something. Like try to handle it quietly because maybe somebody really isn't aware that their actions are offensive to you. And being a bit public about it can be quite embarrassing and drive away potential viewers or potential followers or even subscribers if they turn into that.
That's true because if the way you handle a situation is reflective on you, right? Even how
Mm.
your mods react to people and things like that, or your community, it really shows others how you are going to be. So if you can be smart about it and talk to them afterwards, it goes a long way. And
Yep.
like address it privately instead of like calling them out. My viewer pet peeve is when people ask the same questions that sound like you don't really care about the game, or the streamer example, how are the games? Have a good day. Get any wins? Talk to people like people. Show you care, and they will reflect the same quality on you. That's very true. It's very true. A lot of people come in and say, "Hey, how are the games?" and stuff like that. So I can see that.
I think I've had this conversation with a few people, and I do, while I understand what people are getting at. Like, ask more than just icebreaker things. It's not always so cut and dry. Um, you got to have some icebreakers to get the ball rolling. You actually have to, you have to start somewhere. I'm not one that I can just walk into. We'll use your party analogy. I can't just walk in and, hey, friend, how's your family? How's your mom? I know she's sick and been doing this. Like, I'm gonna kind of feel you out, see where your mood is at a little bit before I just start jumping into grilling you about your life story and seeing.
Mhm.
So that's just me. I'm just, it's not quite so cut and dry on because some people like me, I actually care about the game or I care about the person playing the game. Like if I'm coming in and I'm asking Fran, how are, how's the games going? I actually like Fortnite. I
Mhm.
actually want to hear how the games are going because I like Fortnite and I like you, you're a friend. So I actually give two shits how the games are going, because at the end of the day, I'm going to ask you, you're streaming, so how's the stream going? How the game's going is like the purpose of what you're doing here. Is it going well?
That's very
That's just
true.
me.
And there's a context to it, right? Like it if somebody's coming in and always just saying the same thing and then they disappear, like that gets a little bit repetitive. So I can see his point where if the person is only coming in and saying, "Hey, how are the games?" and you answer the question and then they're like, "All right." And then they don't answer anything else, like they're not actually like engaging with you like afterwards, like it kind of gets a little old and they're not building that relationship. So I can see where that pet peeve comes in.
Yeah. Um,
But if it's like the start of a conversation and then like, oh, so the games went this way, like, oh, do you have any wins? And like, what's like, are you meaning like many bots or any, like it keeps going and then it changes to a different topic, then that's fine.
well, yeah, and you got to give it more than a minute or two. Also, like some people are going to ask those generic questions, and as a provider, they stick around. And as a streamer, you actually have to put some energy and put some thought into your answers. Don't just be like, "Good, games are good." He'll talk about, did you get any wins? Yeah, the games are going great. I got 10 wins in a row. I got, or no, the games have been fucking crap, pardon my language, but the games have been crap. We haven't won a single game this whole night. One thing that Lady and I always did when we were playing Call of Duty a lot, or Fortnite, is, the games are crap, but, Lady, I'll make jokes at Lady's expense, or she'll make jokes at my expense, something just to kind of give somebody, give people something to feed off of, you know, we always encourage people join in the shit talking as long as it's tasteful. Don't come in and start saying some hateful shit. Uh,
It's
but you
very
got to
true.
give it more than a couple minutes. Don't just jump in, ask a couple questions, and dip because you're not going to get very far in your connection with people.
That's very true. And the streamer also has to answer the question, like you said, right? In a more elaborate way. You can't just say one word because then the person's going to be like, all right, well, he doesn't really want to talk to me, so I might as well leave. Yes, Gorm, you always thrive off the engagement. I've been to your streams and they are fun. They're great. Um, and reading the panels is a great way to get to know streamers. It's a great way. I always check out before like I hit follow or anything, like I'll spend time in the person's stream, but I'm also going to look at the about me section and all the other sections to make sure that it's somebody that I would like drive with and then talk to them and stuff like that. So I guess I see that.
No, actually having something, and
Oh,
that's
that's
actually a
true
really
too.
good.
Go
That's a
ahead.
very good point. Having a counter, you know, like a common thing is seeing sub goals or follower goals, like something like that. Niloxi actually makes something that I don't know why I never thought of this since we're talking about generic questions or repetitive questions.
Mhm.
Have a counter or a goal or something, something that says wins on the day, losses, like if you want to make it fun, funny for people depending on how you treat stuff like that. I got 17 losses and, trying to break that streak right now. Having something, it gives them kind of something to feed off of that way, a visual, so people can kind of see where it's going. Um, and then that might definitely actually change that. That's really good.
Mhm. I had a death counter before. It went too high. I was like, this is terrible. But I like that Naloxy. I really appreciate that.
I
That's a good
can't.
one.
I'm honestly kicking myself that I never actually thought of something like that before. So, definitely gonna look into something like that.
There's an overlay
Um,
for Fortnite. I must look at this. And I do have my monitors in right now, my IEMs, because to do this, I'd rather not have my headset on. But for gaming, I definitely wear my headset.
yeah,
It's a lot better. I must look. All right. What
I
else?
think something.
Go
I
ahead.
think a very big one. We kind of touched on it, but we didn't really like go straight out and say the self promoting. Like, I think that's something that's changed. I don't because you don't really see people self promoting so, or at least maybe I don't. Maybe I'm just not watching the right people to see this. The just blatant. Hey, I'm going live, and then they drop their link.
Mhm.
And what made me think about that is when I started, there was a group of us, or it used to be like friends who would come in, and I would let my friends, the people that I was very close with, self promote. And then it got out of hand because then new people would come in and see, oh, they're self promoting, and then they didn't understand why can't I self promote if you're letting them? And then you would have to sit there and take the time to explain the difference between them and them, you know,
Mhm.
and became too much of a problem. So I ended up saying no more self promoting and stuck to the shout outs to say, okay, if I shout you out, then I want people to know your link is there. But otherwise, keep it to yourself.
It's very true. They have one for Valorant and League of Legends. I don't play League of Legends, but Valorant, that's a good one too. I'll have to look into that. I like Valorant. Me and Lady need to play more Valorant together.
You got to stop going to camp so you can be available on the weekends for Valorant.
Camp is almost over. I only have like 3 or 4 weekends left. Very sad. Very sad. Hello, French Canadian gamer. Welcome on in. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're good today. All right. So we talked about self promoting. Yeah, self promoting is bad. Like it is. I'd break no. Um, what else can we talk about? Clout chasing. I think there's a difference between connection and clout chasing as well, right? Like some people will go into like bigger streamers like chats and stuff and try to grab people there.
Yeah,
Gorm, thank you very much for that. That was not necessary, but thank you. Sorry.
like you're 100% right. Like for me, I am very maybe overly cautious on how I handle people with large. And I shouldn't necessarily just say bigger streamers, but anybody with I would say more than 40 or 50 viewers, and on a consistent. If I see it because the last thing I want somebody to think is that I'm coming into cloud chase. I work very hard to maybe slower than is necessary, but I work very hard to make sure that my motives are pure going in there because the last thing I want is for somebody to think that I'm cloud chasing. And it's
That's
very
very
easy to
true.
get that it's very easy for that to be misconstrued.
Very easy. It's very, very easy to do that. Thank you again,
Uh,
Gorm. Thank you. Um, and like, yeah, me too. Like, right, I try to stick to people that are, don't mind me, just clout chasing. Carry on. Nice try, Gorm. Nice try. Um, it's always like good to, like, I always try to stick to people who have like the same kind of viewership as I do and stuff. Um, and try to build that relationship, right? Like those relationships. I always feel weird going into people that have more than me and stuff. So that's that's how I feel.
it is. And maybe it's just us getting, being overly self conscious or overthinking it, But I'm always, like I said, cautious about people with higher viewerships. Jesus. I bet I thought my alerts were turned off too. It scared the crap out of me. Holy, my heart just jumped.
Haha, yours to the end.
First Canadian, thank you for that follow. Um, but yeah, no, even if it's overdoing it, sometimes you do need to be careful about how you handle going into people's streams, regardless of their viewership, because they could. Oh shit! second.
Hmm.
Touching on the whole subject of learning your stuff, and understanding. Um, Setting up Lumia, I forgot since that's what I'm using for my chat to monitor my multi-stream. I forgot my alerts were going through Lumia.
Mm.
So, um, a French Canadian gamer, thank you for that follow or for that subscription as well. I do appreciate it. Or is that on your stream, Brand? I think that's my stream.
I
This whole sharing chat stream, like I don't do it enough to know. Like I see him looking at the symbols next to it.
Mhm.
Sorry,
No, you're good.
I confused myself for a second looking at it. I was like, am I thinking the right person for the right reason, or am I thanking them for Fran?
Well, it's all good. It's all in one today. It's all in one.
But confused, yeah, a lot of confusion. Getting back on track here. Self-promoting, cloud chasing. It's something that definitely you have to be careful of. I don't want to say that there's a good way to do it because I don't want to completely advocate for it. But there is a time and a place for it. Cloud chasing with your friends. If you're on the up and up with each other, like I don't know that it's really cloud chasing, but self-promoting in streams, do it if it's allowed. Understand when it's allowed, and be mindful of that.
For sure. Like there's difference with your friends. It's more like a collaboration, right? You're trying to work together to build something.
Yeah,
And I think
like
that's
if you're collabing, if you're collabing with people, like in this manner, us doing the podcast together, that would be an appropriate time. Now, don't do it every 5 seconds. That's a whole, because then you're taking away from your cloud chasing off of that person and self promoting at an inappropriate time. But like setting up an appropriate script time, like writing out, okay, or coordinating ahead, hey, I'm going to do this, or hey, I'm going to do it at this point at the end. Coordinate would be the best way to do it. Make sure you're both on the same page.
Yep, for sure. I think we're both on the same page. We're good.
Yeah.
Always take the opportunity to grow your channel without going over boundaries. Yes. Learning those boundaries is very important.
Yeah.
Very, very important.
I think a big thing too for streamer etiquette, something that we've talked about the streamers and the viewers, but one thing that we haven't mentioned is mods.
Mm-hmm.
Respecting the streamer's mods, but also making sure that the mods are respectful of the streamer as well, not overstepping or taking something too far.
That's true. That's true. Because they're the unpaid babysitters of our chaos, right? Of our streams. So we need to treat them like that so we don't lose them.
Well, and that uh, the mods also got to understand though too. It's a two-way street. The mods got to understand when to, if there have been times where I've been joking with somebody or having some banter, or I think that I can even remember a few times where I've been just in a bad mood with a person, a bot, could be a bot, or somebody wanted to talk shit or whatever, and I've been in the middle of talking crap back to them to, kind of drive them out on their own, and lady's just gone off and banned them, and I'm like, well, damn, you just ruined my whole thing that I was doing there. Some people have come in and their personality might be a little weird and it's been questioned. So, but maybe you're trying to give them a chance. So the mods can't be so quick to ban people or time people out as well. Oh, damn, I need to be nice. I'm not saying anybody's got to be nice.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, respect the two-way street between the mod and streamer relationship.
That's true. Like, you have to have that relationship with your mods to understand like what you're looking for your stream, and to know what, so that they know when to can hit that ban hammer and when not to, right? And what you'll tolerate, what you won't, and things like that. So,
Yep.
unlike a lady said there's a ban hammer for a reason, but it's all about using it at the right time,
Yep.
not too quick. Well,
But
Smitty's
also,
quick on the ban hammer sometimes, very quick. Not that I mind because it's
don't
socially
don't
warranted.
let it don't let the behavior go on too long though either. Like it's the mods are the first line of defense. So they need, it's like you said, they got to understand, they got to know where you draw the line. There has to be that understanding. So
I usually ask if I'm on the fence. Yeah. Because you've been caught like that before, Smitty. Do you remember? I remember the one time you got caught banning someone that shouldn't have been banned. You felt terrible. It wasn't on my stream, but yeah. Usually, sometimes I'm like FAFO. Yeah, in Stu's stream, yes, yes. Smitty was just too quick. Somebody came in and said something weird or inappropriate, and it didn't work out. Yeah, felt terrible, but it was fixed in the end. It happens.
And that's the important thing. As long as learning, again, it comes back to everything we're saying, learning from the experience. That sure Smitty now is not quite as maybe just a percent, slower on the hammer. But but now I'm sure she kind of gives it a quick second thought before she just immediately drops the hammer on him.
Yes.
So
Now she asks people, should this be real? Like, should I use the hammer or not? Just in case. But it is better safe than sorry because you never know what people are going to say. The internet is a terrible place. I joked about that earlier, but it's a very scary place sometimes.
that is very true. Things are different. You and I have been doing this, what was it, 5 years? I think was what we
Mm-hmm.
realized. 5 going on 6 years.
Yep.
Something like that. Things are different now than they were back then. People are more prone to do things for the reactions. You never know when you're going to be a clip on somebody's channel now, or somebody just wants to come in and get a rise out of you because they're bored, so they just go around engagement baiting. Whereas before, it would have been definitely not a common thing, or at least not in my experience anyway.
Mm-hmm. But it seems like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say. Never mind. Move on. But like mods definitely need like a shout out because half the time they're doing it while they're multitasking their own lives. Like
Yeah.
some of them might be putting kids to bed, and some of them might be watching TV curled up on the couch. They might be cooking dinner or and stuff like that, right? And sometimes they're faster than you can even notice like what's happening, right? The message pops up and they've already hit the ban hammer before you even know what happened. So kudos to them for keeping things safe and keeping things organized.
Like Zara Mux is one of my mods, and the guy works during one of the times that I stream, so a lot of times he's lurking, but he's almost always got my stream up and keeping an eye on things.
That's what you need. That's what you need.
That doesn't mean you're getting paid, Zara.
If you start making money, maybe. Like at some point, like big streamers, I'm sure pay. Like I'm sure Whips gets paid quite quite well.
I want to know what Whips gets paid.
Yeah, probably quite well. Probably quite well.
What am I, chopped liver? No. No, you're not chopped liver, but you're not working during the time. There's a difference between you and Zara.
You're just there.
Well, she's doing her own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but few and far between. But sorry, you can complain to me later. But yeah, definitely understanding that there's got to be some respect to the mods because you don't want to turn it into your streams into a Lord of the Flies situation. If you don't respect them, they're not going to want to mod for you. And having a Lord of the Flies situation, if you understand what that means, can be very frustrating and very aggravating and disheartening and discouraging. So I think I think that's probably the easiest way to get derailed and demotivated is if you have a unruly chat because nobody's helping you moderate. And if you got to spend all your time moderating on your own, you're not going to be as inclined to want to stream right away after that.
It's very true. Very true. And I don't know. I haven't really experienced too much of it. Like, I don't know. Like we talked about, like my viewer average is not the highest, so sometimes I can do it on my own, but it's always better to have that second set of eyes as well.
Absolutely.
What do you think about raid etiquette, like from both sides?
Gonna have to expand on that because I'll be honest, that's something I never really thought about. Raid etiquette. I mean, I can think of a few things, but
Like
you
if
know,
somebody's raiding you, right? Like I've seen people raid like smaller streamers raid big streamers, right? And they have like one or two you're raiding with one or two people and the other person is like, well, this is not like they don't even acknowledge it because they feel like it's not worth their time, right? Like,
oh, that's easy. Okay, first of all, you should be appreciative that somebody took the time to think about you. I don't give a crap how big you are. If somebody wants to raid you and bring their viewers to you, let, let, let's let's look at it from the big or the big streamer perspective. That's more money coming to your pocket because you're probably already making some decent money from subs and bits and donations, whatever the case may be. So they're giving you the opportunity to make a few extra dollars. Or if nothing else, you're getting more followers, which is more eyes on, which could at the very least be more ad revenue. I mean, if nothing else, look at it from that perspective. You're shooting yourself in the foot if you don't if you're discouraging people from rating you. I'm not the best about rating after every stream, but you should at least 50% of the time rate out. Share the love with people, say, hey, here I am, I see you, I appreciate what you're doing, I respect what you're doing, I like what you're doing, whatever the case may be. Um, but yeah, you should definitely always be welcoming to raids, acknowledge the raids, and I think a personal pet peeve on raids is um, should I just stumbled over my words? Crap! I cannot believe it. My brain just completely derailed.
you have a pet
um,
peeve about raiding, apparently. We're waiting to find out what that is.
oh, criticizing how many viewers somebody has in their raid. I've rated out to one person before, and I've never had a bad experience, but I've seen plenty of people post about the fact that they have been criticized or mocked for only having one or two people. So they got acknowledged, but not in the way that you would like to think they got acknowledged.
Right? Like, why do people have to be rude? Like, this
Yeah.
person took the time to at least share their viewer with you, even if
Mm-hmm.
it's one. And, like, why not accept that and be welcoming? And that it might be the streamer that's was a viewer, right? Because we all know we have one viewer, right? And then the other one probably is Rajcom sometimes. So if you have two, like, it might be just those two people might be followers if you actually build that relationship with them and that can grow your stream, right? So there's no reason to be rude about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand people sometimes.
If I only have two people, I won't raid. I usually don't raid with my one viewer, which is me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can definitely understand the reluctance to do that. Like I said, I've heard the horror stories or the bad stories, um, so I can't really say that I'd blame anybody for not wanting to raid. And I think that's something that's definitely changed over time because I remember back in the day, everybody used to be, "Oh, you rated me, awesome, thank you so much." Um, Now it's hit or miss on what kind of reaction you're getting, and that can be a little disheartening or discouraging from people rating. I have a
When
pet peeve with raids when the raider raids someone that's playing a different game.
I I can understand that because you're going from like say Fortnite to me like rating you that's playing Call of Duty. That could be a little jarring to the community because they're expecting like Fortnite and because that's what they came in to watch. So I can see where that comes in. I can see that pet peeve.
Okay, I guess I can understand that. It'd be like why go flipping from a crime show to a thriller action movie to a sappy,
Rom com, right? Like
yeah.
you don't want to watch Twilight and like when you're supposed to be watching like I don't know Die Hard or something. Those are the first two movies that came to my head. Why I don't know, but
That's definitely some good food for thought because I've never really given that a lot of consideration. I always just rate out. Like I look for any other new ways if I want to meet somebody new, or I think that my community might want to meet somebody new, so we go and just check somebody out and try to get to know them. Or if it's somebody that I'm following that might be a different that if I'm playing Marvel Rivals, I've rated. I would raid Fran if she was still on at 11, 12 o'clock at night streaming.
maybe I'll surprise you on the one
Granted,
weekend. You never know.
granted, you're probably not going to be playing Marvel Rivals, but I know you. I like your personality, your character, and think that you would be good for other people. So I'm going to raid you because now you're not for the game per se, because not everybody likes Fortnite. But I would raid because I think Zara would like to hang out and talk with you, and Zara hates Fortnite.
That's fair. But he comes into my stream and watches anyway, or at least
Mm-hmm.
lurks. 24-hour stream. That's not gonna happen, French Canadian gamer. That's just not gonna happen. No, no. There's no way that I would stay awake for 24 hours. You guys are crazy. I raid someone that usually is doing WWE 2K like me, mostly eFed content, which is what I do, which is a custom wrestling show made up of custom wrestlers created by the person who owns the game, a community creation or community creations where you can download other people's wrestlers. You'd pay to see a 24-hour stream? No. Where you can download other people's wrestlers. I do that because eFed community isn't as popular on Twitch. It's a very niche thing, so it's all of us helping each other out as community, and oftentimes we end up following each other. See, that's great though, because you guys can collab and do that in the future. You can build that community of WWE, right? Wrestling and stuff like that. Um, so I like that. But like you, I go for the person, right? Not necessarily the game.
That's a big thing for me. Is I'm more. I want to, if I'm rating you, which I know you, right, versus say somebody I've never met before. I'm looking at it as I know Fran. I want her to have more viewers or potential viewers, possibly more followers. If somebody I know is in my stream is not following her, it's how can I a do something nice for Fran, hang out with Fran for a little bit, however long that might be, but also help her grow potentially. It's a helpful thing to do. Um, Whereas if I'm looking to meet somebody new, I'm more looking to just grow in the community. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
I'm
somebody
always
you can tell.
reluctant of rating somebody I don't know, right?
Yeah,
Like, because I don't know how that's going to um, be like accepted and stuff. So I tend to stick to the people I have. But there's opportunity there, so it'd be good.
yeah.
Oh, I like that Gorm. Like he's like, is a website like there's a website that has random Twitch streams with 0 viewers. You can be the hero for some lonely streamer and become the entire audience for Twitch broadcasters and streamers with 0 viewers. Make new friends, make someone's day. I like that. That's a good one. Oh, I'll have to keep that in mind.
Interesting.
You can just practice talking to people with that tool. Yeah, for sure. That is definitely something I am going to look into. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. You'll
I
go
think
into
another.
this. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying move on because I think there's only so much raid etiquette, but I mean it's very simple. Be polite going into the stream, be polite and welcoming to the people raiding you. I mean um another piece of etiquette that we haven't talked about is lurking, and that has been a hot topic that I've seen in the last year. How people handle lurkers, whether it's dropping emotes or announcing that you're lurking, or um, I know Zarmux had an issue or had a situation where he was treated badly for being a lurker, and so I think there's might have our own thoughts and opinions on that because I know everybody's a little bit different on how they see lurkers this day and age.
That's very true, right? I've seen people like post that they've been like banned for lurking and things. Like, why? I think lurkers are like is they're telling you that they're supporting you, right? That's my opinion too. It's also my forte. You like lurking for sure. But they support you, like right? Like why can't you take the W and like enjoy that the person is there supporting you regardless?
Uh,
Exactly,
and
Smitty. Exactly.
and And it's crazy how far some people, to me, some people will take lurking because a lot of times, just starting out, lurkers are what you're going to get because people are trying to figure you out, especially if they've never seen you before. Not everybody's going to be so inclined to just jump in and start poking and prodding and giving you, like when I started, I got lucky that I had my wife and uh, Peggy pushing me to talk. Like they would come in and do everything they could to get me to start talking. For a while, and I'd see that view count, it would be sitting at 3, 4 people, and nobody said a word. You know, but I had some viewers. I wasn't at the bottom of the list or in the zero viewer category. So it kind of baffles me when I hear about people like Zara getting. Actually, Zara got publicly accosted for being a lurker,
Yeah.
and so that just blows my mind. So, um, like Naloxi, yeah, she's a big lurker. Calling up to me, it's bad etiquette to call out lurkers. If they're lurking, yeah, I can understand that it can be frustrating, but let them be. What are they really hurting at that point? If they're not talking, they're not harassing you, they're not harassing your viewers, they're not disrupting your game or your stream, they're just there. What are they really honestly doing?
Right. You haven't seen that, Gorm? That people are calling out lurkers? I've seen it. I've seen it plenty of times. I'm not gonna name names, but people do. People get mad if people are like they try to yeah, they do. Look at their live list to see who's
Well,
there.
Gorm, I'll give you a better example. So, my friend, my mod buddy, he's a lot of things rolled into one. Zarmux, he works during the day, or I mean, he works at nighttime. So he's live during the day, and then when everybody else is streaming, he actually had somebody on Twitter call him out and say, and then message. I believe they DM'd him as well. And it was a big debacle, and basically said, "Tired of you lurking. If you're not gonna chat on my stream or not gonna be active on my stream, then you're not worth my time." And banned him everywhere across multiple platforms. Said basically told him, "Don't come back unless you're ready to start being active in my stream."
That's terrible etiquette.
Yeah,
Like, he takes the time to lurk in your stream, and that's how you're gonna repay him.
exactly, Gorm.
Yep.
But that's kind of what I was referencing. That's why I brought it up. And sorry, his wife as well got the same treatment.
Really?
Yeah,
That's silly. Silly. Like, I just like people are busy. People might be. That's more of an ego narcissism thing. It is very much. I wouldn't be back, right? Like, thank you for banning me because I don't want to go back anyway. So it's all good.
well, the crazy part is, and this is one of why this really sticks out to me. What happened is like I saw the person talking on Twitter. They had a whole Twitter thread going about it, and there was easily at least 50 people in the thread all agreeing with how, yeah, basically saying, no more lurkers. I hate lurkers. Uh, lurkers aren't doing me anything because they're not chatting, they're not subbing. They're like, it's literally was, oh, there's so many people. I couldn't believe how big the mindset had grown that lurkers are bad. You know, it's been a little while since I seen to talk about that, but it was definitely shocking to see how many people seem to agree with that mindset.
The topic comes back up every so often.
Yeah,
The way I look at it,
just
lurkers is someone is here to support me when they may have a million things going on. They took 5 minutes out of their day to pull up a tab for me. That's solid in my opinion. Yeah, it's very solid for me. I am always thankful that people are pulling up my stream and being there. And I will never call them out. And I'm good. They can lurk around. I'll
and
talk to
and be
myself. It's okay.
and I'd be careful with the whole calling, like phrasing is calling out, like trying to get, encourage people to chat. Like Gorm says, people are looking at the live. Look at your live list, but do not say, "Hey, how are you?" So and so if they haven't talked in your stream. Like, don't address them. Period. Let them be the first move. You know, like I think that's a big thing that people start out doing that they need to not do, because a lot of people are like, I didn't want to talk, and now you just put the spotlight on me, and that can drive somebody away real fast.
That's very
Not in
true.
a bad way. I just it's kind of like being called up on the stage, when you got stage fright. So
No one's called me out for lurking, I don't think, ever. Like on Twitch, no. I think this might be coming more from like, and I don't want to say it like for sure, but like Kick, a lot of the things they need the interaction, right? It's part of the metrics that you need the chatters to chat.
yep.
So it might be on that platform and not necessarily Twitch, right? Like I think the Twitch community is a little bit different than the Kick one, but at the same time, most people are multi-streaming, so it could be on both. But,
No. I just mentioned Twitter because that's where it really became public. It didn't just stop at the initial streaming platform. It was taken
mhm.
to Twitter and made an even more public, display of contempt for lurkers.
Could it be a way to like engagement farm? Like, hey, unpopular opinion, I don't like lurkers. Like, maybe.
Maybe I don't know. I didn't engage with it because I was not about to get sucked into a streamer war or beef about lurkers because I wouldn't have been rude, but I would have been completely against what they were saying.
Well, and I get that, right? Sometimes it's easier to like be quiet and not say anything. I hate saying hello and they're only watching YouTube or TikTok. Yeah. Multi chat, multi streaming can be tricky. Like, if you don't have like the multi chat like add ons or anything like that, I'm lucky that my streamer bot actually has all three chats in there because it just added Kick in there. So it has Twitch, Kick, and YouTube in there. So everything's there all in one. So I can keep an eye on all of it. But it's
Yep.
very challenging sometimes. Botch TV, thank you for the follow. That scared me. Scared me a little bit.
And Gordon brings up a good point on etiquette. Yeah, if you're going to multi-stream, make sure you're paying attention to all your platforms,
Yes.
or put a disclaimer in that says, "Hey, my focus is here, but I'm showing it here." Like you make it clear you're driving. I've seen streamers who are on TikTok, and they don't really acknowledge the TikTok chat very much, other than to say, but they'll constantly be saying, "Hey, I'm live on the purple side, or I'm on Twitch. Come see
Mm-hmm.
me over here," and trying to drive the traffic there. That I understand because at least they're being honest about what they're doing or what their intentions are.
Don't be on Twitch and do that though. That gets you banned.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
So
Like, and I understand why they're doing it, right? On TikTok, the reach sometimes is bigger. So you have
mhm.
that opportunity to move them over to Twitch or Kick or whatever platform that you want them to be on. But I don't know. Even if I multi stream, I don't usually like mention the other platforms too often
Yeah.
to like everyone. Like people, like if people get confused, like because people don't see the chat, right? So I'll be like, hey, I'm streaming on different platforms. That's why I'm replying to different things. But I think most people these days understand that, but it's still good etiquette to like let them know why it's happening.
Yep.
Yep. Lurkers. Any other stream etiquette things that we want to touch on?
I think we covered the big ones.
We have covered the big ones.
I mean, we could say that everybody has their own opinions on what proper etiquette would be, but I think there's only so much, until you're getting into a personal opinion on etiquette. But I think we can all agree rating etiquette, following, or engagement etiquette, respecting your mods etiquette, all that stuff. I think those are the big ones that people should be aware of before just jumping in and doing something.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Like, and it comes down to like the easy things, right? Just be respectful. Like, there's no reason that anybody has to be disrespectful. Like, be nice and make those genuine connections. And like, that's how you earn people's respect and earn the collaborations that you can do. And like, you get the raids that people are going to provide to you, you get the friendships and things like that, right? So it goes a long way just to be respectful.
And back to the point, a lot of it, when you sit down and actually think about it, it is common sense, except for the self promo thing. Eh, Even self promotion should be a more common sense thing. Don't take away from the streamer unless you're given permission or you have an agreement with the streamer itself. That
Mhm.
it really should be, if you stop and give it, more than 10 seconds of thought, and you'd understand why self promotion is a bad thing. Um, but I mean, if we're talking about from a first timer's perspective, I can understand maybe not quite so common sense, but
Right? But some people are like sneaky about it too, right? Like they're getting more creative in how they self promote sometimes.
yeah,
So you have to be careful there too. But people just want to do the easy thing, right? Like they just want to gain recognition by doing the easy way out and not actually doing the work because there's a lot of work in the background. Have you seen content creators like stealing other people's stuff? Like that's kind of dirty. Like I don't know if anybody knows the YouTuber Nutty, or he's a Twitch streamer as well, but he like does a lot of things for like streamer bot and stuff. And like somebody actually took his tweet and tweeted out his like word for word, and used his like he has a streamer bot like pack that people can get, like the starter pack that like gives you all the alerts and stuff for it. Makes it super easy for anybody who's starting out with streamer bot to use. And they actually downloaded his file and put it out as their own and like copied his Twitter post to like advertise it like word for
okay,
word.
that I can understand. I was gonna say I'm not. I find it's very hard for me to say that you can copy people's stuff. Now, if you're doing it literally like that, yeah, okay, I understand because I didn't think about it like that. I didn't know that was a thing. But like people saying, "Oh, you're copying what I'm doing because you have a problem with somebody," like there's only I don't know how original people can get with their ideas anymore. IRL stuff. You see hundreds of thousands of people IRL streaming various things, just chatting. Everybody, hot tub streamers, everybody does it. Call of Duty streamers, everybody. I shouldn't say that. Thousands of people do it. Like it's not an original idea anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're literally taking somebody's work verbatim and copying and pasting it, that's pretty shitty.
It is. It was. I was like, what? Somebody actually did that? Like, at least make it like not as like obvious, right? Like,
Yeah.
but he literally took his files because Nutty went in and like downloaded his files and then put it into StreamerBot, and it like took over his stuff. Like, it was pretty funny. I enjoyed
Yeah.
that. I was like, really? Because like you said,
Yeah.
a lot of ideas I've already like most ideas have already been done, right? Over and over again. You just have to try to put your own twist on it. Just don't steal something like word for word from people. Be real.
Zara Mux over on Kick says, "Oh, I got one. Putting your Twitch kick name in your name and complain. I'm assuming he's referring to games where you can put in like your gamer tag and complaining that people are stream sniping if they come into the stream. So like on a majority of games, like let's say Dead by Daylight, because that's what
Mhm.
Zara plays. You can put your name as Zara. He's got his name Zarmugs Kick GTV,
Mm.
advertising that he's on Kick or TV. Don't be surprised if somebody's going to come in. Don't call him a stream sniper because you're literally saying, "I'm on Kick. I'm on Twitch. Come check me out."
That's
Why else
fair.
would you put that in your name?
That's fair. But like you don't expect like for people to come and stream snipe you, right? You expect people to come and interact with you and like be
Yeah,
respectful. However, not everybody is respectful, so they come in and like try to do something dirty and like stream snipe you. Dirty pool. Dirty, dirty pool. I don't like it. I don't like it. I've been stream sniped before playing Valorant. Well, it's kind of. The person was playing in one of our custom matches. And I didn't clue in right away, but he was on the opposite team. Nope, nope, nope. Did not appreciate it. He was waiting for me around every corner. Not cool. I die easy enough. You don't have to stream snipe me. You can just play the game. You're gonna find me and you're gonna kill me. It
yep.
doesn't matter. Did you just agree with that? Are you serious right now? You just called me bad? Is that what you just did?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't believe you. The smile on your face. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. See how it is. See how it is. Does anybody have any questions or anything like that? Because we're pretty much almost done, right? Is there anything else we want to go over? I think that was the first episode, right?
Yeah.
We can open the floor up to questions if anybody wants to. You have a question. Perfect. What's your question? I have a question after too. Are we doing this like bi-weekly? Just question. Or weekly?
That's more up to you.
Oh, it's more up to me. All right. Well, we'll take that question off the air after. What would you say is the biggest thing that you have learned so far as streaming goes that you didn't know when you started? How much work goes into streaming? How much work goes into it is what something I did not know, like in the background when I started. What's yours?
I think that's a good one, but for me, it's more personal. I would say, like, I'll start with saying how important it is to build a community or build connections with people. But the biggest thing that I learned is I always thought of myself as a solitary, like loner, like more on the outside kind of person. I've never been one to put myself in the middle of a social circle. But when I started streaming, I actually enjoyed it. I love talking to people. You know, when people want to come in and have like, you know, like we talked about, down to earth, uh, real conversations, about anything. Like I'll talk about anything. Now, I know that certain topics shouldn't be talked about because it can be very touchy and very personal, politics, religion, things like that. But I love to talk. And I never realized how much I love to talk to people until I started streaming. And the more I started doing it, I love that more than anything. So you come in and give me something, anything, let me go to town. Like I've I've evolved from being a gamer to where I love interviewing and regarding people, having these podcast sessions like this, doing this stuff. I love this more than anything.
I love this more
So
than anything. I love this more than gaming. If I could just do this, I would do this all the time. So if it's weekly, I'm in, but or
leave
bi-weekly,
that on over.
whichever.
Smitty, I could talk about food all day long, just different foods, different meals, different culinary, cultural aspects. I think we spent what Smitty the other day, a good 5 minutes easily, 5 to 10 minutes talking about Italian food. You know, doesn't matter what it is. I just enjoy talking. Um, let's see. French Canadian Gamer asks, why do you guys choose to stream instead of making YouTube vids? So my question back is, do you mean like just in general, French Canadian?
Probably. Mine is the interaction. I like the
Yeah,
interaction with people.
in general, I again, being able to, like Fran said, interact, to talk. You come in and tell me about your day, and as long as it's not more than like, oh, it was good, if you give me something to build off of, I'm going to ask you all kinds of questions. If you tell me you come in and like I said, I know religion is a very sensitive subject, and you shouldn't be talking. You probably shouldn't be so quick to want to talk about religion. If you come in and want to have a theological debate with me, I'll do that. Politics, not the most knowledgeable. I can do that. Sports, maybe not the most knowledgeable in sports, but I can definitely hold my own. Games, I think we're all gamers, can easily say we can talk about games pretty easily depending on the game itself. Um, Relationships, shit. I think we've all been through enough relationship ups and downs that we can all talk about relationship problems.
Very true.
So,
I'm bad at small talk. I prefer like actual conversations.
mhm.
Terrible at small talk.
Yep.
Sneaky, hello and welcome.
So that's
Those
why
are
for
some
me.
great questions. I enjoy that question. Being live is a rush. It is. It is. But it can also be very draining depending on how things are going. Like on a slow night, it can be very draining, I think. At least for me, it sucks the energy out of me when it's quiet. I prefer the engaged chat. I've
I've
noticed it.
noticed more new streamers using follower only chat. Do you believe this does more harm than good to your channel? I'll let you go first because I'm not sure. I'm not
I
sure where I sit on that.
I personally think um that follower only chat hurts a new streamer. Because I know that if I can't chat with you before I follow, I'm not sticking around. I rather have be able to interact with you, get to know you, and then decide whether I want to um, actually go ahead and follow. So I think it does more harm than good. If there's something going on though, if there's a hate rate or something going on and you have to switch it to follower only or subscriber only, then I say go for it. But I think for new streamers, follower only is a harmful thing to do for your channel.
Yeah, I think I lean more on the side. It does more harm. I won't say it's harmful, but it can shoot you in the foot more than anything because I am not, I'm picky about how I raid because if it's follower only chat, I'm not raiding you. I'm not going to force anybody to follow to engage with a stream. So you lose out on. I feel like you have a bigger chance of losing out on opportunities.
That's very true. You lose out on opportunities if you do the follower only. You're
I
not
agree with what you
intruding.
said to protect yourself with follower only or subscriber only if you have to. Uh, but be careful about how quick you are to jump on that.
Mhm. Not to intrude or make myself part of this, but I can do small talk all day. I prefer the long conversations. Lets me interact better and get to know the viewer better. It's very true. Long conversations do you get that better interaction and get to know the people. I feel like going live is easier and less time consuming than making a polished YouTube video. See, I'm a perfectionist, so making a YouTube video would be much more difficult for me because and I've tried and I delete things because I mess up my words and stuff. So, yeah. I I can't. It's very difficult for me.
It's for me. I just have too much self doubt. Like I look at it, and I'm like, God, this just looks so generic. We always tell people watch your content back so you can self critique it because if you're not liking it, why is somebody else going to like it? And I could point out 900 things wrong with it, or it's so generic, it doesn't stand out. Like it's just another thing to watch. Like what is drawing people to really want to watch it,
That's very true.
without it being over the top at the same time.
Very true. I shouldn't be answering these questions considering I haven't streamed in a hot minute. Yeah, but you have streamed, Sneaky, so you're more than welcome to answer.
Lady Misfit, people won't stay. Oh, she's answering the follower only. I want to follow because I like your content, not because I'm forced to follow to be able to chat.
Yep,
Yeah,
exactly.
I think we can also most of us can say we're on the same page on that.
Using your stream VODs to make YouTube videos is a huge advantage. It is an advantage and one I don't take enough of because sometimes I don't want to sit there and go through it because I don't have time. Not that I don't want to, but I don't have time. And sometimes I don't want to because I find it cringe to listen to my own voice. I have a
Dara
terrible voice.
says each video is practice and putting them out will get you more views than not. And it's very true.
That's
That's
very
something
true.
I keep trying to tell myself that, but then I still sit there and overly criticize myself. And I know I do. I just can't seem to break that mindset.
I view followers only streams are only about the numbers and not about the people, if that makes sense. Absolutely. That means people are just wanting to reach a certain amount of followers and not really caring about the interaction with the people. I completely agree with that, Sneaky. Do you agree with that?
Not completely,
Really?
because yes, because I have spoken with some people about follower only, and they've had issues with their streams or in their streams that have prompted them to feel like they're protecting themselves. They think that they're protecting themselves from hate raids or trolls or anything. They're just trying to look out for the quality of their chat. which I understand to a degree.
Well, that's because something has happened, right? So I can understand that as well, for sure.
Yeah.
But like, if somebody's following you without getting to know you and not interacting with you, are they really a good follower? Like,
Right.
are they
No, and
just
I
going to
understand your point.
unfollow?
I'm just saying that the part about it being only about the numbers,
Mhm.
I am not completely sold that that is the thing.
Fair. If it's a new streamer though, and they don't have like the minimum to get affiliate, well, now there's no minimum. But if there was like the 50 like followers, do you think that would be a reason for them to have follow only?
Oh, then yeah, then it goes back to the point of only being about the numbers,
Mm-hmm.
So it really, that's why I said I don't completely agree
Yep.
with it, but I do because it comes down to is what's the mindset behind it. So I don't want to
Understandable.
be so quick. I don't want to be so quick to judge everyone when it's not necessarily everyone.
That's very true. Like, it's not everybody's not in the same boat. That's very true. I'll give you that one. Only
I think that's
25
the biggest
followers
thing.
for affiliate now. See, that's
I
potential.
think in general that's the hardest thing. Like, you have to be careful these days about lumping everybody into a general mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not careful, somebody could take it the wrong way. When you might have just been making a general statement, it's not quite so. It's not a blanket statement. It's a general thing. So if you're not careful, people will misunderstand that.
Yes, people are very sensitive these days. I didn't grow up that way, being a Gen Xer, but I
Yeah.
understand.
Well, and then like it's hard when if you're chatting, like if you're the one typing, whether it's Twitter or in somebody's chat, social media, period, you're only getting so many words out, and then you have to try to put tone into it or try to understand, the I guess the tone behind it. Like I get on Lady about this all the time. She'll inject the tone into something, and I'll look at something. I'm like, I don't know that that was really the right tone. I think you're kind of getting in your head about that.
This is very true. Words can, like, we take words at, like, we don't normally take them at face value, right? We try to put emotion behind it sometimes, which makes it a little bit more difficult to read. But words on a screen do not necessarily have the same emotion that we're thinking. We can't assume what somebody's just saying.
Yep.
I love this stream. I love the interaction. Thank you, everyone, for being here and hanging out, and chatting, asking questions. It's been really good.
Mm, absolutely.
Really
I
good.
guess the next thing we got to work on is a schedule.
We need to work on a schedule. And go ahead, ask your question. I have one more question before we leave. Monday. I know Monday. I'm sitting down with you, Rajcon. Monday. I know. Don't want to miss that. He's introducing something new. So we're gonna do that on Monday. This wasn't the purpose of this. What is your all-time goal dream with streaming? What would you like to accomplish? I'll let you answer that one first. I need to think.
For me, right, all-time goal. Obviously, I want to get to a point where I'm bringing in a decent. I'm not even about to lie and say that it's not about the money. A long-term goal is bringing in something that I can just use to help boost mine and my wife's lifestyle. Doesn't have to be thousands and thousands of dollars, but a couple extra, maybe 1,000, hundred, a few extra $100 coming in. Uh, I don't know that I could do this as a full-time job anymore. I would love to say that I could, but I don't. I don't know. That part I'm not sure. But having some extra money coming in, absolutely. Being able, whether it's affiliate programs, sponsorships, donations, subs, anything. Long term, I just want to thrive in community. Like, took too much time off of being away from building a community. That's why my wife and I were getting back to doing movie nights, trying to plan community days. It's been a little rough with her work schedule. She had to work. We've been trying to do them on Sundays, but she's had to work. So it's hit or miss. But trying to get back to that point where I'm actually building a community. I think for me, French community, the reason why I'm saying I'm not quite so quick to jump on the money aspect anymore. If I'm being realistic, I don't know that I'll ever get to a point. Like I got to work on building up some stuff about me, to make it more engaging, to get more people wanting to subscribe, more to donate, or to drop bits or whatever. I got some work to do on myself, to build that part up. But at least building a community, that part I can absolutely say without a doubt. I would love to have more community nights, movie nights, more community events, more game days, whatever. That's why I giving Fran crap about being at camp because she wants to play Valorant, but she's always at camp on the weekends.
Sorry, sorry. Summer's almost over. Gotta get priorities. Camp is my decompression time. So going back to your question, people fall in love with the streamers, not the games. That's very true. Very true. I would love to build a community, right? And not to like, I don't want to promote my community or anything, but that's what we want to do, right? Is build a community of people who come together, be friends, feel like a family, and just like grow and just have that support system around. You watch Fran for ecom, really? Don't tell him that. I'm not going to tell him that. That little bugger angers me so much. He angers me so much. Don't his ego will just grow. I'm not going to tell him. Let's be quiet. Let's not repeat that. But yeah, I like little bugger, but it's fine. But yeah, that's my ultimate goal is, and maybe make some money. That would be great too.
Yeah.
But I'm not expecting to make thousands of dollars. I'm not the next Ninja or Tim the Tatman. That's for sure. I have a question for everybody else. Since we are starting this and this was episode 1, I hope everybody in, like, why not? Why am I not going to be? Don't expect to be the next, because I don't have that confidence yet. So I'm building on it. But right now, I don't see myself as that person. I hope to develop into that person, but so far, no. Plus, I'm older. Don't know. My age shouldn't be a factor, but to me, it is. This was episode 1. Talked about starting to stream and etiquette. We need more topics. What do you guys want to see? Is there anything you guys want to see? What did you think of the first episode of this podcast? I like feedback. Maybe I'm asking too soon. Maybe they'll be too nice to us. Misfit, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we're going to get some honest feedback. Love the first one I said more. And it's not just going to be always about like guide to streaming. We have plans to talk about streaming related topics, sure. It could be streamer related issues. Like I know a big issue that I've seen popping up is Kick going to make it long term because there's been some issues with Stake being sued and Kick being part of that lawsuit because of their affiliation with Stake. Things like that. So
I didn't see
variety
that.
of topics. Yeah. It'd be cool to have guest appearances. Absolutely. Obviously, we got some work to do to kind of hone the rough spots.
In time, we'll get the hang of this.
More. Yeah.
Need more preparation time. But yeah, it's been good. Guest appearances, I think that would be good. Invite Ecom as a guest. Are you kidding? French Canadian gamer. I might have to ban you. Just kidding. Just kidding. I won't do it. I'll just stick Smitty on you. Just kidding. Don't do that, Smitty. Yeah, right. He will have a lot to say. He's a little chatterbox if you let him. Chat. Did someone say banhammer? She even has the emote. She's funny. But I think we both appreciate everybody being here. I think that'll be it for number 1, right? Episode number 1. Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Noxie.
We will get better at this. Don't worry. It will get better. Right?
Yeah, definitely will.
But get better. Thank you for listening to what we call Press Start to Chat with Fran and Tony over here, or Anthony as he called himself. Weird, eh? Or Mrs. Frantastic and Misfit lead, or lead Misfit, as you can see. Streaming isn't just about games, it's about the people, and we appreciate each and every one of you for being here and chatting with us. It's about the stories. We love hearing stories too, so inviting people to this might be something we can talk about. And all the chaotic moments in between, right? So if you enjoyed today, make sure to stick around. Come back next time. Follow both of us. I think everybody does, but you know.
For the most part, I think so at this point.
And if you know anybody who can benefit from these, like share it with your friends. Bring them along.
And make sure you share, like, subscribe. I think Fran said she's on YouTube, so make sure you like and subscribe. If you're over there on YouTube, definitely follow, turn the notifications on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, wherever it is you're watching. And
yes,
I will be posting on mine.
Mine too.
I don't know about Fran.
I will be too. It's there. So it'll be there.
So it'll definitely be there. And I think it's definitely time to say that's a wrap. And cut.
That's a wrap and cut. Thank you again, everyone. I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks, Misfit.
Well, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.